I realized I just had to stop altogether, and that's trying to look rich in order to actually be rich. I had to stop trying to pretend I was something that I wasn't and start living the way I actually want to be. So this is kind of the whole big hat, no cattle kind of situation. And I'll give you some examples of how this has played out in my life, and I've seen this being very positive. So that's the idea that I need to stop trying to look rich and actually put my head down and work on actually getting rich. I heard this statement recently about how the rich handle their money versus how the poor handle their money. Let me know what you think. So the poor use money to buy stuff. If they want something, they save up for it and they buy it. Rich use their money to make more money. And that really got me, because I'm thinking, yes, that is, I know this is true, because the truly wealthy people that I have met, the people that I've met that have a high net worth, don't look like it. For the most part, I would say 99.9% of the people who I know are actually rich don't look like it. I can think of one person I've met. So if I've met, I want to say 20, 25 millionaires in my life, I can think of one who looks like a millionaire. And I'm not even very sure about this person's net worth, so I don't even want to say it. But so 99% of the people that I have met that have actual net worth, you would never know it walking down the street. It's the whole idea of the millionaire next door, Thomas Stanley's groundbreaking study on what millionaires actually do and their actual habits. So that's the millionaire next door. And then I also have the millionaire women next door. Phenomenal books that basically the whole premise is millionaires don't look like it. That's how they become millionaires, is that they're using their money to make more money. They're investing in assets. They're investing in a good kind of index funds that track the market over a long period of time. They don't buy, they don't pick individual stocks for the most part. Their investments are they just kind of dollar cost average it in, and their investments are good, steady, solid, reliable, that are making them money. So that's something that I just was kind of reaffirmed to me, that that is what the rich really do with their money. Because I'm in a situation right now where I am actively kind of building my way out of I don't want to say a difficult situation, but times is tough, right? We're in tough economic times. We can't afford to be going out there trying to look rich. Now, here's something else that I am also kind of realizing. Let me back up by saying, here is my history with money, right? My money beliefs and my money history. I grew up, I'm the child of an immigrant. My dad came from Korea when he was a teenager, and my mom is from Michigan. So she grew up with a very Midwestern work ethic. My dad had the typical immigrant mentality where you go to college, you get a degree in finance or economics, then you work hard and you buy something to reward yourself for working hard. And so for my dad, he came home with a leased Lexus one time. He was into watches and he really liked to have nice watches. Let me tell you, I love my father as a person who's no longer with us. He did not have a high net worth. He had a high income, but he did not have a high net worth. And I realize that for myself, and I honor his legacy and his work ethic. And I say to myself, the best way that I can honor him is by learning from his mistakes, right? So again, the rich use their money to buy assets. The rich use their money to make more money, not to buy things to show people or to prove that they have arrived in a certain place. Now, this is how this has sort of played out in my life. I appreciate luxury. I like a nice thing here and there. I have to show myself that this is completely more. So let me give you actual specifics, right? Because that's what really matters. My story, for those of you who are new, is that I found myself in $17,000 worth of credit card debt a couple years after graduating. I had no idea how I got there. I wandered into credit card debt, just spending more than I made. Took 2 years, really buckled down, listened to a lot of personal finance content, and then 2.5 years making roughly $30,000, got myself out of that debt. Have been credit card debt free almost ever since. During that time, I purchased luxury items in cash. I bought a couple Louis Vuitton items in cash. I've always loved handbags since I was like 5 or 6. I love bags. And because I can remember thinking, oh, it's convenient to have all your stuff with you and just to be able to kind of carry it through. And after I was debt free and certainly not using debt to buy these Louis Vuitton items, I purchased them because to me, it felt like I had arrived at a certain point. It felt like a milestone, it was a milestone purchase. And having those things made me feel a certain way. I don't necessarily care what other people think about how I look, but I wanted to prove to myself that, you know, I owned a Louis Vuitton handbag. Like that was a big thing. Like that meant that I had arrived. And that I realize is just the wrong way to think about money, right? My money should be making more money, and even saving up to pay for something. Again, if you have to save up, you probably can't afford it. And number two, if you have to save up, your money could be put to better use. So there's also kind of rich people generally may not necessarily need to worry about their monthly bills. They may have enough in assets to cover their monthly expenses. How did they get that way? First generation wealth, by minding that money and by using that money to make more money. So as I'm kind of trying to redirect myself out of this sort of huge setback that I've had recently, I'm really thinking about true wealth and how to make true wealth and what is true luxury. So that's something that I'm kind of continually evaluating, and how this has played out in my life. So when I owned these Louis Vuitton items, I bought myself a Louis Vuitton wallet, and I had one actually for a long time. I've since sold all but one Louis Vuitton item. It was a printed, it was a Louis Vuitton Sarah wallet because it has a back slip pocket, and it was in canvas. So it had the big brown LV, it was a brown canvas with the gold LV markings on it. I was at a garage sale trying to get a good deal, and I had cash in my wallet. I was very proud of myself for having cash in my wallet, trying to get a good deal on whatever, an item. And I pulled out my Louis Vuitton wallet to pay. And I could tell that the person that was selling the item looked at me and was like, oh, come on. Like, are you for real? Like, no, I'm not gonna, like, you look like you can afford to pay full price. And I was like, the moment I went home and I sold that wallet, because I realized that looking poor is almost a guarantee that is something that will keep you from actually becoming rich. Did I say that the right way? Looking rich is something that will almost guarantee that you will never actually be rich and have a high net worth. Now, of course, there are exceptions, and of course there's room for having nice things and for celebrating. But again, I can't help but get out of my mind. If I want to actually be rich, I need to stop trying to look rich and actually do the things with my money that rich people do. So that is something I've been thinking about lately. And I also want to kind of add a coda to say that, yes, the rich also buy quality, right? Rich people buy once, buy well, buy the best that you can afford. And that's another thing that I kind of incorporate, because I do try to buy the best that I can afford within my budget. And that's something that I keep thinking about again often. So lately, that's where I am again, as I'm trying to get out of this big setback and trying to get over this setback that I've had recently. I am refining and refocusing and remembering what's really important and what my ultimate goal is. My ultimate goal is to not have to work for a paycheck, is to have my money make more money. That is the ultimate goal. In 20 years, I want my husband and I to be professional travelers. I want to travel the world professionally and not have to worry about a paycheck. And by professionally, I mean often. That's what I want. I want my kids to be in school, and I want to be able to travel whenever, wherever I want. That's the goal. I want enough money to be able to do that, and enough money to be able to care for the people I love and to be able to serve the people that I want to serve through giving. So that's what I got for you today on why I need to stop trying to look rich and why I need to look poor in order to get rich. That's what I got. Let me know what you think. Take care. Bye.